Welcome back. In this video, we are going to look at how the Proverbs 31 woman clothed herself and her family. 3 verses of Proverbs 31 tell us something about her clothing. In verse 13, we read that she seeks wool and flax and willingly works it with her hands. Verse 19 tells us she stretches out her hands to the distaff and her hand holds the spindle. And you will recall from an earlier video, we discussed the spindle and the distaff and how this was how she was able to make the yarn that was then turned into her clothing. Verse 17, we read that her clothing is fine linen and purple. Purple dyes are expensive, and linen is an exquisite fabric. The choices the Proverbs 31 woman made show us her confidence and her self-esteem, and tell us that she was unwilling to accept mediocrity. Unlike today, the Proverbs 31 family did not have large wardrobes, and replacements were made because of wear and tear, not style changes. There is a detailed description of how people dressed in Old Testament times, found in the workbook edition of the Proverbs Principle. It is available for a special discounted price, and I have included the link in the description of this video. Once she had the yarns, which were made with the spindle, whorl, and distaff, it was time to weave these yarns into fabric. Most homes did not have a loom of their own, and the local craftsman did weaving from the yarn that was provided to him. Some translations of Proverbs 31 say that our role model wore clothing of silk. In most cases, silk refers to Egyptian linen. The Proverbs 31 woman gathered flax for linen garments to be worn in the warmer months. The outer bark of the stem was removed, and the fibers were separated, pressed into tubs of water, spread out in the sun to dry, and then with the distaff and the whorl and the spindle, they were made into thread. Sheep were shorn when the warmer weather in the spring arrived. The fleece was washed, dried in the sun, and spun into yarn. One translation of Proverbs 31 refers to clothing made of byssus, which is also called sea silk. It is woven from long, tough filaments that mollusks use to attach themselves to rocks. The fibers are a deep bronze gold and are thought to be the golden fleece of mythological stories. Like wool and flax, byssus was spun on the spindle. Some translations say that the Proverbs 31 woman made clothing of scarlet. Another translation says crimson for her family. This shows that she added extra touches that made everyday things special. Scarlet was obtained from an insect which produced a deep red or crimson dye when crushed. Purple dyes were obtained from a marine mollusk called a murex. The shell was broken to access a small gland, which was removed and crushed, releasing a milky fluid that changed color on exposure to air. Fabrics dyed in this manner did not fade, and the colors became even more vibrant as they were exposed to sunlight. The Phoenicians sold these dyes at the marketplace, but they were extremely expensive, and it took 250,000 mullocks to make 1 ounce of dye. The Proverbs 31 woman probably bartered her belts or wine from her vineyard. Every day, the Proverbs 31 woman and her servants went to nearby streams, pools, or watering troughs. They dipped the clothes in and out of the water and then placed them on flat stones, which can be seen everywhere in the area. They beat the clothes with a club that was about 1.5 feet long. For rinsing, they carried water in goat skins and used a pouring vessel to pour water over the clothes. Join me in the next video, Health and Beauty from the Inside Out.